Bonjour.
Hey,
Awesome. And Scott, can you confirm that you can host or share your screen? Nice.
here we go.
Beautiful. That's the future.
There it is. Man, nice looking slides. You make these, Tom?
No, I think Thomas collaborated with one of our designers, a girl named Lilia, to make them. She's amazing.
Yeah, these are awesome. Awesome looking.
Yeah. Yeah, they're gorgeous. I love the pixelated art. It gives me kind of a 90s vibe.
I'm a 90s guy, man. I'm a 70s guy. I was born 70 in the 70s, but I love the 90s.
Yeah, an interesting decade. I was a kid in the 90s. So for me, it's all like, kid memories and stuff. Cool beans, man. All right. I can see some people are.
Going early, love it.
I know. Isn't that great?
I like the people willing to get on live. I mean, most, majority of people want the recording and then review it on their own pace or time, which is fine. But it's always cool. People that are live, you want to hook them up somehow.
Yeah.
Or whatever you can do.
Yeah, they made the effort.
Yep.
All right, we'll give.
Don't forget to record.
Yes. And we have. Okay. Let me go to the record settings here. Oh, we are live. We are recording. There we go. I couldn't see the little widget in the top left of my screen. Amazing. All right. Well, hello and welcome, everybody. I think we should kick everything off here. Perfect. Give us a quick one in the chat if you can hear us.
I can hear us.
Amazing.
That's one.
There we go. All right. Not seeing any in the chat here. There we go. Someone in Q&A. Chat is disabled. Oh, shoot. All right.
Oh, it's a QA.
There we go. Well, QA, I guess that means that we've got some audio. Perfect. Okay. Well, hello everybody. We're going to kick everything off here. We're going to be doing today's reviewing full funnel attribution from Woodford Reports, this brand new feature that they've launched. And we'll also be connecting that to the tie-in with RevealBot. So the idea here is we're going to show you how you can take the information that you can get out of Woodford Reports and use that to create automations with your ads. So we'll start off today by introducing Scott. Scott's the CEO over at Woodford Reports. And Scott, the floor is yours. Talk to us about full funnel attribution. Thanks,
Matt. I'm really, really excited about this integration and partnership because the number one thing for us is we are very good at tracking all this data and bubbling up all these great insights. But media buyers are busy and everyone's busy. And the beauty of the combination of the two is you have incredible data that can automatically act and scale things or save your ad spend if things are going sideways. And so I'm really excited. This is a brand new Prezzo for today. And I'm going to show how we're able to do what we do, but even more importantly, exciting, actual case study showing someone whose Facebook ads don't look that great, but are actually killing it when you use this full funnel attribution approach. And then we'll be able to show how they can automatically be scaling their ad spend, which they weren't doing because, they're running a bunch of different channels. They're multi-channel marketers. You're busy with a lot of stuff. And sometimes just the basics of, I have great ROAS, I should spend more money is something that people can miss. And more importantly, Facebook is working still. It's just harder to detect unless you have a tool like Wicked Reports, and harder to act on unless you got a tool like RevealBot. So I'm thrilled. I'm really, really excited about this. I'm so excited that, I mean, I'm going to spoil one of the bonuses. We got a deal offer we're going to offer at the end of this. But I personally will get anyone that takes us up on this offer, well, limited to 10, because I can't turn into a customer support person running a company here. But the first 10 people, my product manager and myself will get on with you live to not only assess your Wicked Reports account once it's flowing in with attribution, but also look in and help you with your RevealBot rules. So we're going to get on and personally take ownership of the success of this integration for the first 10 people. That's how like thrilled I am about it and how much I believe in it. Like, I think it's a no-brainer to do. So here we go. I'm Scott, last name DeGrossier, very long. I noticed you skipped over my last name, Matt. I won't hold that against you. It's tricky to pronounce. You know, I spent a long time in attribution, and it's literally 25,000 hours. And so when I'm offering to get on and personally look at your account and help set up your RevealBot thing, I mean, that's a lot of experience I'm going to bring to the table for you. And, you know, marketing attribution has been, frankly, it's been complicated. It's delayed gratification, which no one likes in any area of life. I understand that. And it can be time consuming, but that's what's such a killer thing about this combo, is it's saving a ton of time. And the other thing is it's a conflicting source of data, which I'm going to show you live in someone's account, how they have different versions of the truth. And it's another tool to spend time on, which is another killer reason why this integration is going to, I mean, it's going to save you this time. And so today, Wicked Reports plus RevealBot is changing the narrative on marketing attribution. We're going to give you clarity, confident decision-making, optimized ad spend, and returning at least 5x what you put into it. That's our pledge here at Wicked Reports. We call it the Godfather offer. It's really the FunnelVision 5x fast track offer, and it's that you're going to 5x or we're going to work for free until you won't pay us again if we can't 5x you. So let's get into FunnelVision, and to do that, I'm actually going to show you a live account. Yes, good idea. And that's what we're doing. Here's a live account. Here's a Facebook ad manager. Company Get Maine Lobster. He knows I'm sharing his data, obviously, or this would not be okay. It's just a week ago. I wanted to make it as real as possible. So we're back literally just a week ago. And here's what this media buyer is looking at for his results. Spent $838, made 12 sales. So that's a CAC of about customer acquisition cost of around $70, which is not okay for this advertiser. You see some of these cost per purchases are less, but then he's got this spend right here that had, you know, didn't do much. And then you got this one that didn't do much. So at a $70 cost to acquire a customer, this advertiser can't scale his ads because then he's got product costs, shipping costs, human costs, all those things on top of the return on the ad spend you need. Means this is, hey, I'm not really going to be able to get that excited about my account right here. It's going to be so-so. I know I need to run ads, but not amazing. Now, people have different ways they like to track things. Obviously, we're an attribution company. We're going to show how we do it and why this new innovation FunnelVision helps this advertiser scale. But first, I want to show you what Google Analytics shows for the same day. This is Google Analytics data, March 14th. Here's all this e-commerce conversions. You see a lot of directs. You see some others. His others are SMS and push owl, email, then paid search. You don't even see that Facebook doesn't get credit. Now that could mean Google Analytics is set up perfectly and it's Facebook really is lying about the conversions. That is not actually the case here. That would be your assumption. Well, or you'd say, well, my Facebook must be set up wrong, but Facebook is tracking 12 sales. So you think, hey, it's running pretty well. But a lot of what happens in reality is your ads, when people buy from a small brand, something had to get them to know about the brand. They didn't just wake up one day and type in getmainelobster.com and go there. Unlikely. They did some there's the whole concept of a marketing funnel. They had to become aware of the brand. They did reviews. They checked competitors. They shop for coupons. There's all these things that you do before you trigger an e-commerce purchase. You don't, in a panic, buy immediately the first time you get an exposure to the brand. But at the same point, there's a journey that it takes to get them to close. So this direct sales in particular, if you're in Google Analytics and you see something similar and you're running ads and you're like, my ads aren't doing that well. No, they are, to get to direct, Facebook, Google, Microsoft, and TikTok are the ones that we see work. We have other ones that do okay, but those 4 channels move people along, and then email, SMS, and direct are what shows up as the closes in general, as the most highest converting channels when you're looking in Google Analytics. And so the question becomes, how do I get insights that can move my paid media needle so that I have more revenue? But when I jockey with my attribution, it becomes murky or not as satisfying. And the whole point of attribution should be, you're going to increase your return on your ad spend. You're either going to make more money or you're going to spend less wasting it. And when the channels interact, where the paid media, we find in the trends, we track billions and billions of ad spend, literally just billions. Paid media works really well, top and middle. Some cases it works good in the bottom, sometimes it doesn't, but the channels interact with each other. And historically with attribution, you have to pick different attribution models and try and sort it all out. And it works, but it's a lot of work. However, now with this particular advertiser, looking at this new product we have, FunnelVision, for this one day for Facebook, again, you see in here, it's showing 12 sales. Well, here in FunnelVision, we're showing 69 sales, and it's in the same day. And so we'll get into the mechanics of the why when the time comes. But just as an overall insight, if this advertiser is looking at where he's spending money, his top 5 campaigns here, you see a significantly amount more of sales revenue, and the ROAS is through the roof. The ROAS is actually too high. They should be spending more money here so they can get more revenue at still an acceptable ROAS. So they literally, if they would have had RevealBot and the rule that we set up in like 40 seconds, they would have actually showed bigger numbers here, or they would have bigger numbers down the way. And
that's right, Scott. Yeah, we would have been able to empty the lobster tanks with this rule. We would get them all out of there. They'd be running to the store to buy more rubber bands. Guys, what you're seeing on the screen here is a quick look in for RevealBot. And basically I'll give you guys like a 2-second overview of what you're looking at. The side panel is all of your RevealBot functions. We're looking at rules right now, and rules are essentially logic scripts. So what we're doing is we're using our business decision-making logic in Facebook ads. I can make automations for these channels to help increase our budget. So here I've got the ad account. Now I'm obviously not plugged into Maine Lobsters and plugged into an underwear account. But over here in my filters, what I've got are my campaigns, ad sets, ads. I'm going to set this to the ad sets. I'm assuming this is this was a campaign that we were being shown. So we'll set it to campaign. Looking at that top of funnel. And what I've got here is I've got a task that's going to scale up my budget, say, once a day by 20%. So if we find out that over a given period of time, after a certain amount of spend or a certain number of impressions, we can then jump in and we can scale up that spend. So what I'm doing is I'm going in and I'm choosing the conditions under which this task would apply. I can jump into my integrations section in my dropdown, go to Wicked Reports. ROAS is right there. So if you recall, a couple of slides ago, Scott was showing us that the ROAS was a 19x and 11, like just these incredible numbers. We can use that number, look at that ranking, or just, we can even set it up so that we're just looking at the value. And if that's greater than, say, a 10x or whatever that would be, we can scale up that budget. And just to add some clarity to here, what I've done is I've set this up so if I've got a spend of greater than $2,500, that can be any indicator you guys want. And either of these 2 conditions, we can scale up that budget. So now what we're doing is we're taking these amazing insights that we've been able to pull directly out of Wicked Reports, and we can scale our ad spend using those. So we've basically married these 2 systems together. So accurate data, which is super important, and the ability to take action right when it matters. That's a marriage made in heaven. That eliminates, that tab dancing, right, going from one tab to another. You saw that in GA, nothing was showing up. I mean, you'd probably think that Facebook was attributing your offline conversions incorrectly or something. So yeah, we've been able to establish some really solid protocols around this. I'm super thankful to Scott for having this, because this solves a challenge that we've had for ages, which is, well, Facebook's not reporting accurately. How are my automations going to work?
No, I literally, I just don't see how any Wicked Reports customer would not want to do this. I'm not kidding. Like, I'm like elated with how I didn't realize how powerful it was. I knew it was good. I'd seen it in the past, but then we started talking. It's like, this is really exciting. This is a huge gap in the market for acting, because I mean, generally, if you're going to advertise, let's just say spending 30 grand a month, we have people all sorts of ranges. You got $1,000 a day, you may have like 5-6 campaigns, and you got 3-4 ad sets in each and a bunch of creatives in each. It's a lot to go through and look at, and this means, hey, if you don't get to it, you're not going to lose an opportunity.
Exactly.
That's so important.
Exactly. I'll pass it over to you again, Scott, because I think there was more stuff that you wanted to share on your side.
There is, but I could look at that screen for a little while. I love it.
That's cool. I love it. We get compliments all the time on our UI UX. People love it.
Yeah, and just the logic, the rules, like, amazing.
Yeah.
So this whole thing, this FunnelVision, I'll get into drill in some of these ROASs, but the reason why this is the funnel, and this is literally calculated on the fly, customizable. And so you'll see here, I have these 30-day middle of the funnel time window and a 7-day bottom of the funnel. That's just what I set for this advertiser for this time. You can, on the fly, change these settings and it will reattribute the money. I'll have a slide or two that's going to spell out how we determine that. But basically, we're saying, let's do 7-day click for bottom and then 30-day click for middle. And top of the funnel is using our CRM technology, which is we embed into your CRM, and any clicks that have occurred, in this case from Facebook, we have all the other channels here as well. All the other ones you guys had, same deal. Any click that occurred from that channel prior to them being in any of your first party data, that could be Shopify, WooCommerce, your custom cart, Magento 2 coming up next month, in 2 weeks, all the different CRMs. If you're not in any of the integrations we have, then it's considered top of the funnel. Now, we also have an ability to just say just first click is top of the funnel. If not, it's middle. There's all kinds of, it's right up RevealBot's alley, all kinds of advanced customization, but basically on the fly, you change it. And so here you're seeing why does Facebook not showing as much? Well, one thing is 79% of the conversions for this person is happening top and middle of the funnel. It's taking longer for these people to convert. And that happens a lot of the time, not every time, but a lot of the time. And what happened? And so when you see in your Google Analytics, again, directs and emails and SMS is closing, or you see it in whatever you're tracking with, Facebook has a fair chance of, or Google or TikTok, of being the one that's moving them to then convert on that channel. And then this is the evidence. You don't have to hack up some weird tracking tool. You don't have to, I want to try to ignore these clicks here and hide these clicks there. You can just see what's really occurring in your funnel with an actionable ROAS, which these ones are admittedly bananas here. And then looking at it, I got it here queued up for the last 30 days. This is his 30 days. A lot of money making. Now, it's not that because of FunnelVision, they magically made 280 grand on 24. I'm not going to sit here and promise you a 9X from using this. I'd love to be able to do that. But over time, as we accumulate the insights, you can start optimizing, again, based with the RevealBot rules. So you see here, it held true. The 1-day trend held through on the month trend. 80% of the sales conversions are either cold or greater than a week it took to convert. And that Facebook setting, if they suddenly went to 28-day click, who knows? Maybe it'll suddenly be a little bit more accurate. I don't know. But we can back all these up. We can precisely show you the order IDs. We can push the data into Facebook for you if you need. And then like these optimizations, you see some of these ROASs are up and down, gladly they are spending a little more, they're getting 8. But the idea here with FunnelVision, you can drill into the campaign itself, see the ad sets, see the ads, and I mean, they're all doing great. And then actually see the ads. So you have the data for the ad creative and see what the creative is. Facebook API here, got to pull it in. Hopefully it's reasonably fast. And then the idea is the scale, kill, chill framework of Wicked Reports is that you look at the creatives. Here's the creative, here's the founder, Mark. Here's the ad. You know, it seems like it's doing good, obviously. And then you see where the ROAS is high and you spend more at the high ROAS and you move the money around. In this case, he's killing it everywhere. Let's look down at this guy. Look at his lookalike. So here's one that's, see, not, they don't always do good. So he should stop spending here because he's killing it here. Or you can go into this one. So it's very easy to drill in and look at these things. And then here's another one, which we didn't get into this rule, Matt, but I think would be powerful. So they've stopped spending on this ad set. For whatever reason. ABO didn't like it. However, 33 people bought with no spend. How can that be? Well, they were spending on this campaign's ad set earlier than the last 30 days, but 33 people have bought after the ad got turned off. And we see this all the time. So you can set up a rule, hey, if I get X amount of revenue after I turn off an ad, turn it back on, or in this case, an ad set, because the targeting actually was pretty good. It just was, they were slower to convert. You know, of course, we want people to click and buy the ads right away. They don't do it though. They have their own like prerogative, unfortunately, prospects. But here's one where I don't know why you wouldn't turn this back on. 33 sales. Now I can click and see these. It's PII. I didn't, there's a way to mask it, but I didn't, I think I'm logged in with God rights. So if I click on the 33, because you're going to be like, well, wait a minute. This is top of funnel and we're seeing 73 sales, you know, in this particular time frame. For the one day, you're seeing 3. How come Facebook doesn't show any? Like, you know what? I don't know. It's likely attribution. Their documentation, their modeling conversions on a 24 to 72 hour delay. We're not doing that. We're showing the actual order IDs behind the orders. You can click and see the whole journey all through the funnel and why we attributed it here and any other clicks we had for that particular person. So let me go back to the presentation here. You know, we can take some questions here soon, but I want to kind of show you just visually how this works. You know, I'll keep my slides. I jump around my slides. Let's just take a 15-click journey. Generally, people where, you know, first click, they look at last click before the purchase. Now that, again, doesn't work well because email and SMS and direct get a lot of last clicks. Maybe Facebook or a Google search got the first click, maybe not, but there's all these other clicks that occur. And there's all these hacks. Or if you do multi-touch and you just look at all of them, it's kind of mutes where you should optimize. Where is it? Where are the conversions happening? And so what we have, let me go to good old slide 47. What we have is we are bucketing the clicks based on top, middle, or bottom, and then running these mini multi-touch models, I'll get into it, that segment them accordingly. So if you're a media buyer and you're doing some cold traffic, and then some retargeting, and then some direct response, which most everyone is, this matches that so you can optimize based on the intent of what you're trying to do. It's the whole purpose of this. If it's the top of the funnel and you see conversions, you know, you can already act just on your ROAS, but you can literally, you know, I got a lot of, let me re-minimize them here. I got a lot of stuff going on. But basically in Facebook, you can scroll over and see, okay, this campaign is 2.67 ROAS at top of the funnel, and it's negative at the middle. That means when you get clicks from Facebook on people that aren't currently in your first party data, they respond well to this ad, offer, what have you. And then if they already know your brand, they don't really like the ad or the offer. Think of it like kind of like dating. How do you act when you first meet someone? And then once you're like dating, and then once you're in a relationship, it's very different. It's no different than when you're interaction with the prospects. And so this one's a great opener. Not good for the long term, not good on the people already on your email list or already customers and you're trying to repeat buy. It's kind of how we break it down. And then bottom of the funnel, let's see. And bottom of the funnel, they're not doing that well either. So this is a perfect one. TOF must mean top of the funnel. It's killing it at top of the funnel. What's the media buyer to do? Media buyer should spend more and should exclude their list. Done. It works. And it works because we'll capture all these delayed conversions. We are reporting showing how long it takes to convert, all that stuff. But you finally can spend at top of the funnel, cold traffic, and not have the brand all upset that their blended CAC number, oh, I got to go spend more on brand so that my CAC comes down and shows a better CAC. You can actually prove it out with the data so that the brands you're buying for understand and are willing to let you invest in top of the funnel because you can prove it out. That's where this really comes in handy. Stop for any questions or comments from there, Matt, but I don't want to.
Yeah, I just wanted to add that it would actually take a quick second to make that delayed attribution rule that you mentioned. I'll quickly showcase that, and then we can move into some of those questions.
Oh yeah, please do.
Because that's
awesome.
So super straightforward here, guys. Basically, again, we choose the ad account that matters to whatever it is that we're trying to do. And then for the filter, what we've done is we've chosen ad sets, obviously, because that's what we were looking at. Looking for the ad sets, obviously, that are in active campaigns. And what we're looking at is we're looking for ad sets that are paused, right? So they've been turned off. Cool. So now we've got those ones that we've paused. Maybe we pause those with automation, actually. That's a possibility. And then what I did under task is I selected a start task, right? So turn it back on again. And what we're doing is we're looking at impressions yesterday. So if we got no impressions on that ad yesterday, so let's say the ad was, paused on Monday, off all day Tuesday. Now it's Wednesday, we're looking at it. What we can do is we can go back and we can say, okay, if today we're showing conversions, we can turn it back on.
We should literally merge companies. This is like awesome. I got to be valued at higher though. I don't know your CEO, so I don't know how this works out. Oh my, this is fantastic. I mean, this literally reduces because the opportunity costs, what's happening if you don't have this and you don't turn it back on, someone else is your competitor's buying that traffic and converting those people and you lose.
Exactly. West Coast Lobsters is getting them. So, So we've got, look, impressions today are 0. Sales today, if they're greater than 3, ROAS greater than 10, cost per sale less than $50. Any of those preconditions are met, turn that ad set back on. Super easy stuff, but I think it solves that challenge that you're alluding to, which is now I've got delayed attribution. How do I find it? How do I act on it?
Yeah, that is really cool. I love it.
Beautiful.
We got some Q&A in here. We'll get some of those. So the first one, Jamie wanted to know about how timely is the Wicked data feed. Now, we do deal with people that want to, I used to be a financial trader and I used to write financial trading systems before I get into databases. So I'm very familiar with the timeliness and trying to day trade your account. Mm-hmm. The problem with doing that nowadays, I mean, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I think it's not the best idea because meaning intraday changes based on conversions. So our data feed isn't set up to do that because we don't want you acting real time on it. We have a real-time data report you can use, but I want people to not act on it intraday because Facebook's reporting itself is slow where they're doing modeled delayed conversion reporting. So if you're day trading off a data feed, a data quality of conversion that's not accurate, you're at the whims of the algorithm. You're not necessarily acting on concrete stuff. Now, that's not always the case. Sometimes they'll fly, you have enough conversions, they fly in, they're accurate. But I've seen too much variability that I'm not comfortable recommending that. I prefer that you take a daily optimization approach and a weekly one. Because you got to analyze your customer buying cycle, which we have reports that do that. Maybe I'll pull one up because it'd be kind of timely for this answer, and then we'll go back to the next question. Actually, I'm not sharing anything. Let me share an answer. This is to answer Jamie's question. Let me share my screen. I'm gonna block you. So we have sales by hour. So if you would day trading, you're like, this is the lobster guy, he's doing food. This is the sales per hour converted into the time zone of the customer. We pull all your old order data, look at where they live, figure out, well, he shouldn't be bidding in the mornings. And that's not always the case for every brand, but many brands, like buying food, doesn't do well in the mornings for the time zone. Just picks up right before lunch. Maybe people are hungry and they're at work and they're bored, so they go shopping for lobster online. I don't know. That's my layman's theory. And then it stays pretty consistent, then it dies down near the end. Now, I learned this technique from a guy, Craig Jacobson, 9 years ago. He was selling a Save Your Marriage product, and their best sales were at night. People were up late, all stressed out about their marriage. And so they were up Googling at night. So that was interesting thing. So they would spend a ton of money in the wee hours of the morning because when people couldn't sleep. And I was like, how do you know? He's like, you look at the data. And so that's what we do here. So rather than day trade by the whims of the algorithm, he's not going to be killing it in the morning. He's just not going to be. So I would rather use sales data and not let's hope the delayed algorithms data. I mean, that being said, if there's good data quality in some days, then you could risk it. But the other thing we do is we run how fast do people convert? And unfortunately, they take time to convert. And so if you're interacting thinking that people are clicking and buying on your ads right away, and the reality is they are taking this long from first click to buy, you're making a decision not based on the reality of your customer journey, which may or may not be your case. We'd have to load in your data and look, but long way of saying, that's why we don't have set up the real-time feed. Even though we have a live data report, we have it, and he can see his conversions rolling in, which is cool to see. But I think attribution is a more strategic game than changing your bids every hour. I mean, some people vehemently disagree with me on that, but that's my opinion. So that would be answer number one. Noah, is this good only for e-commerce or for other B2B goals? It is, we need first-party data from sales because we only choose the ROAS based on actual orders we can tie it to. And then we look back. We don't predict conversions. We say, here's a real sale. Let's look back in time to attribute it. So if you were doing a lead gen, you could then just submit that lead as worth whatever money you wanted, and then this would work fine. So that's not that tough to do, but it's just a little hack on how you feed the revenue in. So I hope that answers that, Noah, and if not, let me know. Kelvin, CPG attribution tends to be tricky because purchasers are made at retailers, so we don't have the ability to track those conversions. Yeah, that's tough. I don't have a great answer for that. If we like to report only the truth that we can back up, because if I'm going to have you move your hard-earned ad spend around, I'd be looking at in the eye and say, based on everything I know over my 25,000 hours, I know that you should do this move, or the software is going to tell you what RevealBot's going to automatically do it. It's even better. But we don't have a conversion to track. You know, I don't have a great proxy when we don't actually have it. Unfortunately, I got theories that are untested that I could say you could try, but I've not successfully seen it done. So sorry. I hate not being able to solve a intellectual puzzle. Bothers me, but I can't. Mohammed wants to see a Google ad difference. I will show you that in a minute. I pulled one up. Do we have an open API? Yes, we do. API, docs.wickedreports.com, I think is the API. Yeah, there it is. We have a lot of people pushing data in. You can push in custom conversions. So yeah, actually in your example, Noah, you could push in, every time you get a lead, you could push in and say, hey, Scott at Wicked Reports just filled out this form. That's worth $50 as an order, and send it in, and then our stuff would work flawlessly. And you can push in custom conversions. People want to, like for this webinar, we could push in, hey, these people attended the webinar, boom, that's a conversion, a webinar attendant, live attendee, and then see how you converted after and ROAS on that. So yes, we have an open API, here it is. Difference between CAC and CPA, in some cases, none. Cost CPA being cost per action, CAC being cost to acquire a customer. So unfortunately, like everything in attribution, there's like a long-winded answer. Let me try to keep it short. Cost to acquire the customer. Some people think it's only new customers, and some people think it's all customers. So what we have, we actually have that in here. Where is it? We have the CAC, and then we have the all customer CAC. So our CAC here is new cost divided by new customers, and this one cost divided by all customers. Some people don't care, hey, it's a new customer, and some people vehemently think it should be new customers. I think it should be every customer. Why, if you got a customer from that ad and you already had them but they still converted again from this, then it's still acquiring a customer, even if, that's my opinion. This is what made them convert. But some people are really intense about it. It has to be new. So we have them both. And then for CPA, when it's usually referred to as CPA, they usually mean CAC is what they usually mean. But if you had some other defined action, like for the B2B example, it could be whatever action you want to call it. But if you ever see it in a report and no one's defined it, they usually mean it's a cost to acquire a new customer is what CPA people assume and think you know what they mean. Can you attribute cross-device, across browser back to the TOF source? Yes. No one can do it absolutely flawlessly, but yes, we can do that. I mean, we've been able to do that since day one. We have literally 10,000 lines of code that runs every night, cooking it up and trying to figure out what to do. It's all kinds of things we do. Everyone sort of does it the same and then sort of does it different. So no, we can't read people's mind. If someone watches a YouTube ad and then 2 days later closes on their mobile phone after watching it, no, we're not going to know that. So there's always a little bit of data leakage. It's not flawless. Conversions to organic or direct, yes, we can attribute those. And thanks to FunnelVision, like we're looking at Google right now. Geez, Google's doing quite well too. Yeah, they're doing quite well. Yeah, so if the Google was the middle funnel and then the bottom funnel was organic, then it would show up here. Yeah, we have an organic channel. We've been tracking organic for like 4 or 5 years. And then what will happen is the organic will show the landing page that converted them. So you can get dollar values on your page, the pages that they entered and started the session. So if I organically close, unfortunately, a lot of organic conversions are usually on the homepage, so it's not super insightful. But, oh, okay, so the Google ad drove them, and then they went organically to my homepage a couple days later and clicked and bought. We will stitch that together and report it that way. Link to the recording. We pull data from Meta and Google ads. Yes, we can. We already showed Facebook or Meta. I still call it Facebook. I'm old school here. This is Google. So it's very similar in terms of the reporting. But the ROAS, shockingly, can still be more top and middle. It is a little more bottom. I would have thought it was mostly bottom, but what happens here, and I'm doing a 7-day window. So I was surprised to see it wasn't more, but that's just the reality of it. So I can go in here and look and see, okay, what are my ad groups? And then we see it down to the keyword level or the triggering criteria. So if it's an audience, like what do they call those? When you're in the market audience, it would list them. Or if it's some Google Analytics audience that you're piping in and then targeting, like your competitors' keywords, whatever you named it, or if it's just straight up keywords. So here's an example. Lobster tails. Why on earth would you not be spending more? Because, my most favorite scaling advice is, you guys probably have this too, Matt, is if you're making ROAS on a keyword and you don't have all the impression share, why on earth aren't you spending more money? Like you're making 18-1. You're probably just not bidding enough on lobster tails. Probably your cost to your bid is probably not high enough. So you only spent $75, and I'm sure you probably had a target ROAS of like 4 in your bidding. And then you're like, geez, why aren't I bidding more? Well, you got to make the adjustments here, because you inevitably, let's just go to lobster tails, see what who's beating them out. Maine lobster now. Well, there you go. Why are they there? Where's Get Maine Lobster? Oh man, this makes me sad. Well, live sadness. So RevealBot, I would have been in there, and then I've been like, I got to go check my rules. Why aren't I on here more? Because that's a high ROAS, and so he's not getting the impression share. We just proved that. I just went there, not getting the impression. So it's certainly under 100%. But we had built an integration with Google. But again, RevealBot is going to save all this time. We built integration with Google where you could go in and drag say, I want more impression share, and then was spending more, because that to me was the safest, most slam dunk thing to spend on. Make them money, ad not showing. Spend more. Do whatever you got to do to show more ads, because this thing's converting. To get 6, that's pretty sweet. Let's see, nice conversion rate too, 9%. No, 11%. Man, okay, anyway, I got to make a note. Very smart media buyer and owner too, but you know, you get busy. He's probably dealing with like, maybe literally they are on the dock. Maybe like the lobster catch was low today and they're scrambling to fulfill, or they're going to throw in clam chowder and the milk spoiled. I don't know, but they're busy, and instead they should be spending here. So guess what? They're going to be. I'm going to call them up and say, hey, what are you doing here? This is a slam dunk. That's how Google works. How about tracking attribution? Taylor says to a third party where the conversion occurs like a restaurant res. I looked into doing this. I think it was with Yelp or something a while ago. We had a call with them, or it was Ticketmaster, some big company with a third party. We need to get, how Wicked Reports works is we either need to get the actual conversion, because we all base it on real people converting, not inferred conversions. We need that third party would have to send you the conversions. Would be one way to do it. The other way to do it, which is a little more advanced and a little hacky, but would work, is if you were running just Google ads to a landing page that the third party was going to use for the reservations, or a redirect. If you can get a redirect link in there, we can track it that way. And then we know X conversions, and then you can upload them in or API them in. So there's advanced use cases that can work, but they take work. And the whole point of this integration is let's have less work for you to do. But I understand that's your use case. You need to do it. You're pulling this data. Oh, okay. I'm glad you asked that, Noah. So you're pulling this data from whatever platform people are advertising off. It's going through your system. The user is able to see it. No, that's not what we're doing. I'm glad you asked. We have our attribution models that are tracking things. That's why these sales, this isn't coming from Facebook. We created these conversions because we can actually see that in this case, this user was using Shopify, and we're able to say, well, you know, in this case, 60 something sales occurred this day in Shopify. Well, actually had over 100. Then we look back in time to see if they clicked on Facebook forever in the past. And then we bucket them according to how long it took to convert into this top, middle, bottom. So Facebook, if we were just pulling in Facebook's, we would show 4 sales for this day. It's an important distinction. I'm glad you asked that. And we don't. We show a lot more sales because we are doing a completely different methodology using your CRM data, shopping cart data, clicks we track, and just, I know, I mean, it seems, why wouldn't Facebook do this? Well, Facebook is a third party. They can't do it because they're using their pixel to watch where you go on the web without you necessarily knowing that. And because of that, they can't correlate the data the way we can. They just can't. It's just the way legals work on this stuff. So because we're only doing it for the brands and the media buyers and not spying if people leave the site, and we're using first-party consented data to help determine this, we can actually show more by tracking people way, way less, which admittedly is, you know, I never thought of it that way. But so thanks for asking that. Cross-domain tracking, yes, Taylor. My very first customer was cross-domain. Our 10th was Digital Marketer back when it was, you know, Ryan Dice, Molly Pittman, John Grimshaw, and folks. They had a mess. They had like 500 ads they were running. They have all these crazy domains, and they were checking out on those Infusionsoft, now known as Keep, checkouts. So they had an ad that would go to a landing page software like Unbounce, then maybe hit their domain for an upsell or add-on, then go to the Infusionsoft checkout page. So I had a triple domain, was my very first big client. We were 4 months into this, like 9 years ago. So we've been cross-domain tracking from the get-go. A couple of people asked that. Yes, we can cross-domain. We've been doing that since. That's why that could be this. I mean, I know there's ways to supposedly set this up accurate. These directs, this might just be they're losing the trail, although his checkout is all getmainlobster.com. So he shouldn't have lost the trail here, but they did. I don't know why. Can we remove Bing page brand search in the attribution? Can we remove it? You cannot, well, you could filter it out. So we have saved filters. So you could filter it out of the view. So you could type in brand, you know, all the campaigns that don't contain brand. Yeah, here's brand. Good old brand. The thing with brand is, you know, it means something else led them to brand. I mean, unless you're at a lot of live events and people are going to it, or there's a lot, granted, there's some word of mouth that leads to brands. Some other brands like the devil, but you know, people try to manipulate brand. So then the CAC looks lower because they don't have funnel vision. So they don't have the funnel vision and they're using these old kludgy first click, last click models. You got to manipulate brand so that your paid CAC looks, blended CAC looks better. I hate blended CAC. I mean, I get why you need to do it, but it's not for me. You got to look at the details. Yes, no, we're pulling from Shopify, website. CRM is a big part of this too. We're using CRM data for attribution because it helps segment where you are. If you're in the CRM, you're not cold traffic. Regardless of what your Facebook targeting says you're doing, if you're already in someone's CRM, you know the brand already. And that's a huge conversion point, getting them into the CRM. Subscription brands, if you're on here, you know, our integration, I want Matt to show, pull subscription sales, because we have people that'll spend at negative ROI or like low ROAS because they're going to get the recur. That's an advanced topic. If there's any subscription people here, let me know. We can get into it. Otherwise, we won't. Yes, anonymous attendee. A lot of Google brand searches are driven from a proper TOF channel, such as Facebook ads. Exactly. So that case, when you see this brand, or you see he got a ton, we track email and SMS, ton of email and SMS conversions. That's not to be feared with FunnelVision. It means as a media buyer, oh, good, the other channel converted, I'm going to get credit and now be able to spend more, or at least justify, you know, my fee or prove the worth, so people aren't all stressed about the ad spend. You're not rooting against the other channels now because we're going to stitch them together for you. So yeah, if anyone here is a subscription brand, we can get into the, you know, maybe you can share and show the subscription rule, Matt, or whip one up here. Like if ROAS is, you guys can do this so fast, right? If the ROAS hits 0.5 and the subscription sales are in the top 20%, something like, I mean, this is like dream rules for subscription brand, top 50%. Mm-hmm. The idea being, you know, it takes even longer to convert people to a subscription, and they get subscribe and say whatever. You're like, I don't want to be on auto bill. I got enough auto bills trying to track my wife and kids, all the auto bills they got going on. I'm already trying to cut those down. I'm not going to do an auto bill. I'd rather pay more and not have an auto bill. Well, you get an auto bill. It's obviously an amazing business model, but Facebook's not built to see those recurs, and we are. So when you get that heavy recur over time, the ROAS can go through the roof on these, and you can keep spending and spending on ad sets that look terrible on Facebook, but really you're murdering it because of the recurring downstream. And you stack up a couple months of grabbing enough recurring at what looks like a negative ROAS, you actually have a sky high ROAS. And so we'll show that, but you had a cool rule. I was thrilled you put that field in. I didn't know it was going to be in there. If you want to show that, I don't know if you can build one that fast. Seems like you can.
Yeah, let me have a look here. Let me jump into RevealBot real quick. So we were looking at go to rules, go to Google, create a rule, and run me through the metric again. Sorry, it was.
Sure, it'd be ROAS is greater than 0.5, which is a crappy ROAS. It means you're losing 50 cents for every 50 you pay.
Gotcha.
So
Okay,
so greater than 5, and
with this iteration of RevealBot, as of right now, we actually don't have weekly reports plugged into Google. Okay. When we have that, we absolutely can set up that combination of conditions. I know it's something that we're talking about, but not there just yet. But yeah, like the logic is still possible, right? So with RevealBot,
do it with Google, do it with do it with Facebook.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, same thing. So
Facebook ROAS is greater than 0.5, and the campaign name contains tofu, and subscription sales are in the top. I don't know. You guys have so many cool conditions here. Let's just see. We'll see what the subscription.
There we go. Subscription sales.
Yeah.
and we can rank that. So that can
Oh my
be,
God. Yeah.
is within.
Any one of these is just print money.
Yeah, really.
Once you have
That
enough
budget.
conversions, that is. So
Yeah.
so basically this, and then if it was like a, you know, that adds the campaign is a tofu, because then when the delayed conversions hit, so we have some advanced media buyers using subscriptions that, I mean, they're pretty faithful customers of ours because they see way higher ROAS once they've stacked up enough, like an ad set that takes like, unfortunately, like 3 weeks to convert to buying a subscription, not going to look that great in Facebook. But if they've actually converted and then they recur and recur and recur, and they're each worth like $400 or $500 a customer, and you're getting a couple a day, you're quickly going to have like 6-figure revenue on that if you're spending it. And so the ROAS only has to initially show an upward trend, and the subscription sales are coming in. You know that that ROAS is going to go up, so you can start spending now. Because the trends are, because a subscription sale trend is already showing, hey, down the road when these recur, I'm going to be making a serious bank. So let's start buying it now. I love this particular strategy.
Awesome.
This is cool. This reminds me of when I used to do day trading. It's the same type of like trading system.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, it is cool. It is cool. I mean, I know about tools like Composer.trade, right? One of those big trading ones. They use similar logic, and the conceptualization is pretty similar, right? We're all investing things into our paid ads, just like we're investing in stocks. We want to see a certain return, and that means without certain performance thresholds we want to see.
Yep, exactly. Anonymous attendee, do we need subscriptions to Wicked Reports, RevealBot, in a platform like Supermetrics, or is that redundant? You do need Wicked Reports and RevealBot for what we're showing you, yes. Supermetrics, we do have an outbound API, and we have a Google Data Studio connector, and we have people that pipe the data in, summary data. If Supermetrics is not really an attribution tool, it's a great reporting dashboard tool. It's fantastic for that. So if you're going to present beautiful client-facing reports that you, or to your board or to whatever, Supermetrics is an awesome option for that. And we frankly aren't. That's why we have an outbound API, is to pipe data in for other reporting uses and needs, well, such as RevealBot. So that would be based on your use case, whether you. But if you're using Supermetrics for attribution, I met the founder. I like him, but it's not an attribution tool. If you can do attribution, you got to do it like 24/7. You can't just pull in conversions from Facebook and Google and say you're doing attribution. I don't know if they're presenting that or not. It's my opinion. Anonymous attendee, if subscription ads are doing amazing over long term but doing poorly on Facebook, is Wicked Reports pushing that good performance data to Facebook in any way? We do push the, so what you can do, we have a Facebook lead integration where you can push in, if you know that because your subscriptions are killing it, your leads are worth, I don't know, $5 a lead. We can push it in every 5 minutes. The new leads Facebook's getting, like we can cross-reference it against Klaviyo that it's a new lead and then shove it in, and it will optimize based on that. And we have cohort reporting that can help you get that correct value. So we can cohort out your top and bottom funnel value over time to give you estimates of when you have to fake a value, not really fake a value, yeah, kind of fake a value to Facebook so it'll do the right thing. We can give you the numbers to help do that. So somewhat, but you still kind of force it to spend. You still do old school sometimes where you have to just spend, and despite Facebook thinking it's not doing well. Sometimes that's the case. Well, I guess we did need about the hour. Once I got wound up about everything, freaking motor mouth over here.
No, it's been great. I mean, I feel like I've learned a ton about just how all of this works, and there's some incredible synergy between our two tools, which is what makes having you here so great. I really appreciate you jumping on and joining us today.
Sure. So let's talk about the offer. Here's what we're willing to do here. We have anyone buying from this webinar, use the code RevealBot, and it's going to save you 30% for 3 months. And that can be either on our monthlies, or you can do our Godfather offer, which is you pay us one time and you don't pay again until we 5X. So the best way to sort that out, that we work with your integrations and whatnot, you go to wickedreports.com and then you click on demo, And then you book a live Zoom call and we can get into, you know, how we can help you and whether it's better to do the Godfather offer and pay once or to do the monthly and follow the other process we have. And then, as I mentioned at the beginning, we are going to personally, the first 10 people, I'll personally get on here and check out your rules and all that. Because I mean, it's super fun, but also it's going to work, you know.
Yeah.
We want to see success, so we're pumped to do that.
On my side here at RevealBot, if you guys jump in on a RevealBot subscription after the 14-day trial is over, we have a free 14-day trial. Jump in, give it a shot, see how you like it, marry it up with the information from Wicked Reports. If you guys end up subscribing, make sure that you use the code Wicked Reports 30 for 30% off your RevealBot subscription.
Awesome. So I guess we'll email out the recording, email out details and links to the offer, and thanks everyone for their time. Appreciate it.
Yeah, guys, it's been a pleasure. Thanks for the great questions.
All right. Have a good one.